Hello, I'm Green.
And I'm Purple.
Welcome back to Grand Purple. We're back and playing Limbo. We're going to get this puzzle right this time. Caleb's going to talk about Kirby Robot. We're going to have a great time.
Okay, so first of all, I will say, if you haven't played Kirby Planet Robobot and you do want to play it and, like, know the story and stuff like that, don't watch this episode. Like, click out now, because...
We'll come back and, like, here. I'll give you 4 minutes, Caleb, to talk about the story of Kirby Planet Robobot.
That's not... What? That's... okay, well, first of all, I'm just going to say that so far, Kirby Planet Robobot is...
Here. We'll make it easier so you don't have to, like, do it quickly. Caleb, whenever you watch this video before it goes up, just, like, scroll through and find when we stop talking about the story.
Okay.
And then just leave a comment and tell people to go to that point if they don't want to hear about it.
Thank you.
There we go.
But Kirby Planet Robobot definitely is, like, so far my favorite Kirby game up to date.
Oh, really?
Yes. They outdo themselves every single time with each new Kirby game. But it's definitely one of the more darker ones, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just tell that from the get-go with the title music, because usually the title themes in Kirby games are upbeat and happy, but if you listen to the title theme of Robobot, it has this, like, foreboding and dark feel to it. It's it's very saddening to a point, but it's still it's different. But so I guess the story, which, like, really got me, is so basically Popstar is being overrun by... Oh, I thought that was going to kill you.
I thought it was too.
Is being overrun by these just like this company that I think the company is called the Haltman company, the Haltman Company, and they're basically mechanizing Popstar, and let's see, like, for example, the first boss is Clanky Woods. It's not.
So it's Wispy Woods, but he's like all robot-y.
He's roboticized, and if you read the because when you're fighting a boss, you can pause the screen and it, like, gives you a little description about the boss. And I'm not exactly sure what it says, but I remember it saying something about, like, Wispy Woods has been, like, hollowed out and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's dark. That's really,
you know, this nice, happy, anthropomorphized tree.
And they, like,
he's dead now.
Yeah, and, like, oh my goodness, it's terrible. Nice. And I also think it's cool because they do a good job in bringing back certain bosses from things from older Kirby games to kind of show you that, like, these Kirby games are connected. Because I don't know if you remember, but from Kirby 64 there was this boss and they were called Pix.
Okay.
And they're these 3 diamond dudes, and they were on Rockstar, and they're like they're like mechanical. They're like futuristic bosses. Like, they're part of this ancient mechanized civilization.
Okay.
And they bring them back in Robobot, and I forgot. I think they're called, like, Hollow Defense System API, and it's cool because they make holograms of a lot of the older Kirby bosses. So it's a nice little touch for, you know, like, if you're like, oh, I remember this guy, I remember this guy, I remember this guy. But it also makes sense because it keeps that futuristic mechanized feel to it.
It's like a
because they're just
take on.
They're just holograms, holograms that can hit you. So that's some pretty high tech, advanced technology right there.
You don't normally. It's like the holograms from Scooby Doo. Yeah, like, they're all holograms. Like, how could they hit me? You know, just
shut up.
Don't worry about it.
But then you get to, like, because you have to fight Meta Knight in the game, but he's been, like, mechanized too. Like, they took him and they, like, put these mechanical parts on him and made him their mechanical slave.
Oh,
and I'm like, jeez, this is intense. I don't know. And then they also made this DDD clone. I don't know if they, like, took something from King ED, because when the invaders came at the beginning of the game, they launched this onslaught, and they're, like, in this flying UFO type thing. And at first like, Meta Knight and King Dedede try to fight against them, but they just wipe them out. Like, they shoot down the halberd and then they just like blast King Dedede's castle to smithereens.
Oh, jeez.
So like they're out, they can't do anything. Kirby's got to do this by himself. But they take. I don't know if Susie, because Susie is one of the Haltman elites. She's like the assistant, and I don't know if she took something from DDD, but she like used these nano machines and they created like this clone of him. It's really creepy, actually, how he looks, because he's like this goopy purple mess.
Ugh.
And so to
It's
talk,
like they finished, and he's like, he's perfect. He's like, don't you think he's a little... No, he's perfect.
by the way, I love, because the Kirby games have been doing a little bit more voice acting, and Kirby makes more noises, and like Susie, who the voice actress for Susie is the same as Kirby's.
Oh, okay.
So like you can hear it when she makes little grunts and stuff like that. It's like that's the same. They did the same thing with like Triple Deluxe, and that Queen Sectonia's voice actress was Kirby's voice actress.
They just wanted to hire one voice actress for everybody.
King Dedede obviously.
Oh, I forgot about that.
King Dedede obviously has a different voice actor, but so like the main story of the game and like how it continues on is that this is where it gets dark.
Kirby dies.
No, Kirby doesn't die. Basically, the main villain, the side villain, his name is Max Prophet Haltman, and he awoken this ancient machine called Star Dream, and it could grant any wish. That was the way it was supposed to do, grant any wish.
I think I done died.
He was supposed to grant just any wish. And what happened is that Haltman was working on this experiment, and it caused his daughter to, like, in his eyes, die. Like, she got warped into another dimension or something happened to her. Kind of like Big Hero 6?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, something happened. They were doing something, and his daughter just got sent to another dimension, which he thought she was dead. So he awoke in the Star Dream to grant his wish of bring my daughter back. And the sad thing about that is that as he's using the Star Dream is like taking control of him and like slowly erasing his memory and making him his puppet.
Oh.
And
so then he doesn't even remember his daughter.
Right, because Susie is his daughter, but
Oh.
he can't even remember that she is because his mind is being deleted by this machine. And I was like, that's dark.
It's fine. It's just a Kirby game. Kirby's pink and cute, man.
I mean, the Kirby games have done dark things before because, I mean, if you play Kirby's Dream Land 3, when you fight Zero, when you get into his second form, because he's a giant eyeball.
Yeah.
And when you defeat his first form, his iris and pupil pop out of the ball, and it just spurts blood as it chases you. And I was like, yeah, that's for kids.
It's fine.
But at the end of it, obviously, Susie tries to get the helmet away that Haltman uses to control the Star Dream away from him, but it's already too late, and the Star Dream's already like full control assimilation with him. So he's dead. Haltman's dead. It's just wow. The final boss fight was amazing, by the way. But a magnet.
Yeah, it's like... I'm trying to remember how this thing works. Yeah, you have to like stop it in a certain spot.
Probably right there. Oh, so you want to put it up there and then run down?
Yeah.
Okay. It was rough. But another thing I was going to talk about is that in the Kirby games, they tend to have these arenas, whereas like you got to fight through all the bosses again. And the normal arena, there's always the normal arena and then the true arena, and the true arena, like, it puts it into a more of a what if scenario because you fight the same bosses, but towards the end you fight like this secret boss. And that one,
No, don't go down that. Sorry.
and that one, the secret boss is it's the Star Dream's core or its heart. And that fight is so difficult. And one thing that I'm gonna like Bad Nintendo, bad on you. The final boss, it didn't get me, but I've heard people say that it has, and I don't blame them. Whenever you defeat the Star Dreams core, it does this. It does this final attack that takes away, if I'm correct, it takes away 7/8 of your health if you get hit by it. So at that point, because
it's electric.
and at that point, the true arena is really hard because you're fighting the bosses again, but they're all 2.0, so they all have different movesets. They hit harder.
Right.
It's way more difficult, and it's so stupid because you don't really expect it, but because what he does is it's a heart. It's like this heart, and it'll charge up and it grows bigger, and it sends out these red shock waves, and you just have to avoid them. The problem being is that you don't really see it coming, and you don't expect it to do that much damage to you. And it
You're
does.
dead now.
Yeah. It is stupid. But, like, even, because I heard some people say, like, one thing you can do with Kirby is you have Stone Kirby. And whenever Kirby's in that stone form, he's supposed to be invincible. Like, nothing can hit him. As long as he's in there, nothing can hurt him. And some people said, like, they did that, but the way the game's programmed, even if you're in that form where Kirby's supposed to be invincible, it still hits you.
just because they want you.
Just because it's supposed to be an all-out final attack.
It's dumb.
It almost got me, because what it does, it tricks you. Because the first shockwave takes up the upper part of the screen, and then the next shockwave takes up the middle part of the screen. The next one you think, oh, it's going to take up the lower, you're dead.
Yeah.
So you're thinking the next one's going to take up the lower part of the screen, right? Well, so you're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to fly to the top of the screen, I'll be safe. It tricks you in that the third shockwave takes up the lower and middle part of the screen. So you have to be in the middle part of the screen to avoid it. And it almost got me because I was flying up. And it almost got me. And I was like, oh no. No. It was almost pixel perfect. It like skimmed the top of Kirby's head. I was like, oh my gosh, no. And at that point I didn't know, but I could assume. I was like, that probably was like an instant kill if it hit me.
Probably.
And then, I mean, it's not an instant kill, but
just about.
At that point of the arena, I don't think you're gonna have full health.
Like, for most people, it would be an instant kill.
Yeah. Jeez. Bad Nintendo. Don't do that.
Me.
So yeah, that's the gist of Kirby Playing Robot. I love it, but certainly, definitely, and I don't know if it's my favorite because, well, the game mechanics and the music and like a lot about it is just awesome. I love it. I don't know if like how dark that storyline is, because definitely is one of the, I think Haltman is like the only, no, I'll say Sectonia as well, but Haltman, his story is just so sad. And you feel bad because he's not really a true villain, and he's being used by a machine.
Yeah, like, I think this is the end.
What?
No?
No, it's not.
Okay. You
scared me. I was like, what? There's so much more. How do we get...
You run into her at the very end. I forgot you run into her before that, too. Okay. We'll be back next time.
Yes.
Caleb, you seem like you still have some more stuff you'd like to talk about Robobot.
Oh, that's fine. That's good. I don't want you guys to have 2 episodes where you're not supposed to.
Just don't watch the rest of Limbo. But, so, none of the Kirby games are really, like, linked together in terms of, like, just direct story, or most of them aren't, are they? Where, like, one kind of falls directly after the story of another, where you kind of have to play the first.
There's no reason for it. Like, yeah, the story's like, it's more of like a fan thing. Like, if you've played all the Kirby games, then you can see how each one is connected to the other, but you don't have to. Like, it's just to like, oh, I see, like, it's more with the bosses, really. Yeah. You'll see it more with the bosses, which one thing I was gonna say, like, when you do this other version of Plant Robobot, these two bosses that the Star Dream makes Meta Knight fight are like, oh my god, they bring back Dark Mind, which Dark Mind, I think it's Dark. No, it's Dark Matter. Sorry, it's Dark Matter, and Dark Matter's last appearance was in Kirby's Dream Land 2. He was the main antagonist in Kirby's Dream Land 2, and they brought him back, and I was like, it was so surprising because he's so old. But if you've played those old Kirby games, then it's like it's like I know who that is. And so, and then they also bring back Sectonia, and so it's like it shows you that like they've been collecting data from so much of Kirby's past experiences, and they've been using it to like create these clones and stuff like that. These holograms, these clones. So,
I mean, whenever you have a series that's as long as Kirby is, where it's been around almost as long as Mario has.
Yeah.
Well, as long as Super Mario Brothers has been around. The vast majority of people aren't going to have played all of them.
Yes.
But so whenever you bring back a boss, most people will just be like, "Oh, this is a creepy boss." Like,
yeah.
But then those that have played all of it, you're like, "Oh, I see what you did there."
Yeah. And it confused. It actually caught me off guard too, because how Star Dream introduced Dark Matter is that he was like this ancient swordman from ancient times and stuff like that. And at first you're thinking, oh, it's Galactonite, which Galactonite is like, he first appeared in Kirby Superstar Ultra. I can talk about him some other time. You really have to know. He's a swordsman. He's like Meta Knight, but even better. And people theorize that it's Kirby from like the future or something like that. But and then it just brings out Dark Matter, and it's like, what? This guy's old.
Oh yeah, that dude. See, because Caleb's played pretty much all the Kirbys except for the Wii U one, but I've only played a couple here or there, and so stuff like that, I would just be like, oh, it's a bad guy, I'm gonna kill him. But I always like that in series, whenever you can call back stuff for your old fans, so that it's almost like a treat for them since they've been with you for so long, but also while not like alienating new people.
Right, it has
like,
no, if you haven't played those old games, it has no impact whatsoever on you.
Yeah, it's not like you're playing, you're like, I don't know what's happening. And I always can respect that. Like, even in Mario, they do it every once in a while, where they bring back an old boss.
Like Boom Boom.
Yeah. Like him, or Did they ever bring back the frog guy from Super Mario Brothers 2?
Wart? No,
they should bring Wart back.
They should.
You just go to another land, it's just Wart. He's like, oh no, not you again. And you like go to fight him, but then Bowser just like gets rid of him, and then you're just like, nope, I guess I'll just fight Bowser again.
Oh well, better luck next time, Wart.
I do think Zelda has a problem where, like, they want Ganon to be the bad guy in, like, all the Zeldas.
Yes.
So anytime they come up with a different bad guy, you're like, this guy's cool. And they're like, nah, he's Ganon. Like, Twilight Princess, they build up Xanth the whole time. It's like, the bad guy. And then you beat Xanth, and it's like, but there's actually Ganon. Ganondorf. Like, okay, I guess we're going with Ganondorf again. Oh, whenever we come back, more Limbo. Because this is not the end.
No.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
See ya.